Good morning. This is Kellaland on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
A man wanted for aggravated assault caused traffic delays on Louise Avenue near 53rd Street in Sioux Falls. Police say 21-year-old Tony DeRoe threatened a convenience store clerk with a knife, then left. He didn't try to take anything, so the incident isn't considered a robbery.
Soon after, officers found the suspect walking down Louise Avenue, but he wouldn't get out of the road. In addition to aggravated assault, he's also facing resisting arrest, obstruction, and disorderly conduct charges. A Sioux Falls man is behind bars for allegedly assaulting a man with a hammer. Police were called to Northwestern Avenue Monday night after a woman's ex-boyfriend and current boyfriend got into an argument. At one point, the ex and boyfriend were armed with knives and a hammer.
As the woman and boyfriend went inside, the ex allegedly hit the boyfriend in the back with the hammer. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police arrested 24-year-old Nikolai Williams for aggravated assault. The South Dakota Department of Corrections put out a warning to the public about an impending release of an inmate from the state prison in Sioux Falls. James Hanscom will be released tomorrow after serving almost 7 years for attempted sexual contact with a child.
According to a statement from the DOC, they believe Hanscom is a high risk to offend. Sioux Falls police say they are routinely made aware of releases in the city.
Not all the time does this information get released to the public. So I think the corrections side of things, they're going to have some other information that may be more relevant. Maybe they have information that says this person's a risk to reoffend or commit another crime. And in those cases, they want to release that information to the public to make sure people are aware.
The Department of Corrections says based on their institutional assessments, they decided to make the public aware of Hanscom's release.
As storms rolled across central South Dakota yesterday evening, they rocked the area with baseball to softball-sized hail. Viewers in the area sent us these photos of the hailstones.
If you have pictures or video of the weather in your area, you can send it to us at youshare@kellaland.com. Now let's get a check of our current conditions with meteorologist Scott Monk. Good morning, Scott.
All right, good morning, everybody. We may not be done with the storms either. We are looking at showers and thunderstorms that we had early this morning, and then things can redevelop as we do go into the afternoon hours. They will be found across southeastern South Dakota, Iowa, and Minnesota. In the meantime, today, temperatures will reach the 80s, close to 90 in Pierre, Chamberlain, and Winter, and there is that slight risk for severe weather today that takes us across eastern and southeastern Kellaland. Brian Carstens will have more details on your forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. We know scammers are out there and would love to learn our personal banking information.
Tuesday, we learned what happens when a would-be scammer calls a credit union's branch manager. Brian Tweet spotted multiple red flags and the call ended.
But I was like, oh, and I was like, well, what's your name? And he goes, oh, my name's Nathan. If I remember correctly, it was something like that. And I was like, interesting. I was like, I don't remember us having a Nathan in our fraud department at Levo. He goes, oh, well, you can call me back. He goes, you can look, I work there and everything. I was like, interesting.
Tweet says anyone else could have handled it the same way, adding that if something feels wrong, then there likely really is something wrong. Sanford Children's Hospital is adding a park for patients, families, and staff. It will feature accessible play equipment, shaded areas, and more.
The $1.4 million project is scheduled to be finished in October. The park will be called the Billion Pavilion. The project is funded by donors, including a $1 million gift from David H. and Christine Billion. The San Francisco 49ers open training camp next week, and a South Dakota native will be there competing for a spot on the team. After his final season with North Dakota State, Spencer Wagee spent a lot of his summer back in South Dakota working on the family farm.
Now the 6'5", 290-pound defensive lineman is getting ready to suit up with the San Francisco 49ers. He competed in mini camp and OTAs this summer and admits at first he was a little starstruck.
One of the first days I was here, I saw it was George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey walked in the locker room, and it's just like guys you're used to having on your fantasy teams in the fall, and now they're your teammates. So just that was kind of weird the first couple of days.
Wagee recorded 9 sacks in his senior year at NDSU and is hoping to showcase that kind of pass rush this fall with the 49ers. That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, our weather today. Well, let's hope not to repeat this. Pure hail yesterday. We've got a lot of these photos that we've been sharing online and on air, and of course, a lot of damage from that. Some of this softball size, or at least 4 inches in diameter. So you can pay attention to the weather. This time of year, we can flare additional storms today. And of course, you know, hail is one of the things we'll be watching. We also, of course, yesterday too had some damaging winds near Oklahoma. But the risk zone tends to, again, shift on the maps here. Southeast South Dakota, northwest Iowa, a good chunk of southern Minnesota on up toward the Twin Cities and beyond toward Duluth. So those are areas, especially if you're traveling too, you're plugged in on the weather here today. Let's look at Futurecast. The decaying, or I would say just kind of maintaining a low maintenance profile on some morning thunder showers around Platte. Back to winter this morning. We've had kind of a tracing in there. We do think this radar picture will regroup into the afternoon across the southeast. So just keep watching these storm cells because they could pop up in and around even Sioux Falls. Not out of the question to see that. And so with those highs in the middle to upper 80s, that'll help to fuel those storms as they develop. Now, the wind, of course, today at Pierre and Aberdeen is gusty out of the northwest. This is part of this cold front feature, which is going to cool the weather for the next couple of days. And then after that, we're going to deal with some hotter conditions. In fact, this big pattern next week is much hotter. Our 7-day forecast is going to reflect that in a moment. 89 today in Huron, 87 degrees in Mitchell, Sioux Falls 85. The storms will impact the afternoon forecast. This evening, a storm chance early, and then skies will clear. Lows will be mid to upper 50s with that northwest wind. Of course, that also brings in tomorrow a few 70s for Watertown, Brookings, and Worthington. The 7-day forecast now starts to warm back up, mid to upper 80s this weekend, 90s next week. And there could be some storm chances, not going to rule that out, but at this point, the heat is the most dominant feature, and then we'll add in some storm chances as we think some of those could pop up. Certainly, we could use some rain when it starts getting in the mid to upper 90s, and that will be a possibility here for much of Ketherland. Even the chance of hitting 100 in Pierre. That's grabbing our attention, so stay up on the forecast. And again, it looks dry to start. There could be some monsoon flow moisture areas moving into the Black Hills. So next week still has some things in play, but I do think the heat will be story number one. Check out more details on that online at KELOLAND.com.